welcome to Book Talk with Doodles. And today's video, we're going to talk about one of my favorite authors of all time. My favorite book that she wrote. I'm going to go ahead and bring it out. This is the first book I ever read of her. And oh my God, it's a New York #1 best-selling author. She has amazing writing, amazing creativity. I cannot bear to not read any of her books. I went and saw the movie there was a movie and a book, and I'm not gonna lie, I did not totally finish the whole book, but I did watch the movie and read half of the book. I need to go through, I want to read all of her books again. And that was Colleen Hoover. And Miss Hoover, Colleen, Verity is one of my favorite books. The ending is amazing. It's jaw-dropping. I actually bought this book for my friend Rebecca as well for her to read. I want to get her into Colleen Hoover. I want her to read this book, Verity. And I've got a box of books for her, so whenever I do see her and she comes to my house and she's able to pick up the books, that is something that I want her to read, that book as well. I did buy her the book, The Neon God, as well, and that was the first book. I want her to read that too. I want to see if she gets into Colleen Hoover, because this book, I'm going to reread it, but this book had me on the edge of my seat. My husband didn't quite like it that I was reading it because of the spice, the juicy, spicy in the book. And it kind of, read the book, you'll know. So that was one of them. The other book by her that I have actually read was Ugly Love. I didn't care too much for this book. I really could not get totally into it, but I do know that I want to get all of Colleen Hoover books. I want a shelf with nothing but Colleen Hoover. And of course, Freedom McFadden. But we're talking about Colleen Hoover. This book was another pretty good book. I mean, it's okay. I couldn't really get into it, but I think reading it again next year is something that will help me get into it, because I'm going to read the Colleen Hoover books, and the ones that I've already read, like Verity, and this one will be a reread for me for next year, starting in January. So when I do my TBR for next year, I'm just picking books. I'm not really going to say, oh, I'm going to read this, and this. I do want to do Colleen Hoover's. So I have 6 of her books. I need to get 6 more so I can have one for every month, to read one every month. Now the next book I have, and I think there's a part 2 to some of these books too. I'm not totally for sure. But the next one is by Colleen Hoover, and it was Slammed. I buy these books at my local library for $1. I see them, I grab them. This one as well, good condition. The only problem when I bought it was these little corners right here. That was kind of messed up, which is not hard to fan out and straighten it up, and it's good. The only one I did not buy there, and that's one that I'm going to be showing, that I had my husband buy me when I think I had him buy it for me, and I had to get it. And the other one I have is Without Merits by Colleen Hoover. Now, a lot of people said this was a very good book, that I would enjoy it. Another one they say that's good that I have not read is number 9. And Confess, Colleen Hoover, all your perfects. It Ends With Us is the next book I want to talk about. I had my husband buy me this book. It Ends With Us. I had to get it. I had to buy it. I stuck it in the shopping cart. I had to get it because I want it. I saw the movie. The movie was amazing, heartwarming. I had tears. I cried in the movie. Now let's see, when I read the book next year, am I going to cry? Am I going to cry? The last book is Never Never. I think there's more to Never Never, but I'm not for sure. I'd have to get on Goodreads and check these out. But Never Never is another book, and you could tell somebody really wore this book out. I read it. When I got it, I was like, because I definitely want to go back to my local library, mainly to see if there's any Frida McFadden or Colleen Hoover books or Christian Hannon books. I do love my Christian Hannon. I have one that I'm supposed to read. I read one. I read some of her books. I have some that I do need to read. I have a lot of books I need to read. I've got the shelf behind me. I got this shelf. I got this shelf. And I got shelves over here. And there are books that I have read. Now, but I really don't want to take the books I read and put on a separate shelf. Which I thought about that, but I'm not ready for that until I get some more shelves. I'm going to try to get me some more tall bookshelves to put in here instead of these little bitty ones. And then I'm going to have one shelf full of nothing but Frida McFadden books. And the other one's going to have nothing but my Colleen Hoover books. But if you've never read a Colleen Hoover book, go grab a Colleen Hoover book. It doesn't matter what book it is. Me saying I would read Verity first. Because if you like spice in your books, you'll like Verity. Verity has good spice in it. I mean sex spice. Really, really sexy spice. My husband didn't like the spice in the books when I read books with spice because it's just something he doesn't really too much care for, but we do what we got to do. So that is for that. That is this video. I just wanted to get on here and talk about Colleen Hoover. She is one of my favorite authors of all times. I would love to get more books by her. I would even love to get an autographed picture of Colleen Hoover and put it in a frame and have it sitting there with my Colleen Hoover books. I have 6. I need more. So, if you're a Colleen Hoover fan, you got my votes. Hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, bye guys.